Idaho rental laws govern all issues related to rent and landlord-tenant relationships in the state of Idaho. Whether you're a renter or a property owner with tenants, it's important to understand these rules to the best of your ability. In this video, we'll give you an overview of what the state law says about lease agreements, required disclosures, security deposits, and eviction. We're eForms, the largest online database of fillable legal forms. Check out the link below to access a fillable lease agreement template. Let's first go over the basics. What is a lease agreement? A lease agreement is a rental contract between a landlord and a tenant. Depending on the type of agreement, whether it's a month-to-month lease, a standard agreement, or rent-to-own, both the landlord and tenant are bound to the specific terms regarding the length of the lease, termination, and more. Because a lease agreement is legally binding once it's signed, breaking the contract can result in hefty fines or even legal action. Next, let's look at the required disclosures. In Idaho, there are no legally required disclosures. However, federal law requires property owners to provide a lead-based paint disclosure if it was built on or before 1978. Now, let's look at security deposit laws. Idaho does not have a maximum cap on security deposits, meaning the landlord may ask for as much as they want from the tenant. However, if it comes to returning the security deposit, state law requires that landlords send the deposit back to the tenant within 21 days from the move-out date. Up to 30 days is allowed for returning the deposit only if it's clearly stated in the lease agreement. Finally, let's cover Idaho's eviction laws. In Idaho, a landlord may evict a tenant under the following requirements. Non-payment of rent. If the tenant is late on rent, the landlord can issue a 3-day notice to pay or quit. Non-compliance. If the tenant breaks any portion of the lease other than the late payment of rent, the landlord may give the tenant 3 days to comply with the lease. If they do not cure their violation, the tenant must vacate the property. Termination. If the landlord wants to terminate a month-to-month lease for reasons other than non-payment or non-compliance, they must provide 30 days notice to the tenant. Want to learn more about Idaho rental laws? Visit the link in the video description for a comprehensive breakdown on all things related to lease agreements, evictions, and more.